Hey, good evening, everybody. It's July and it's starting to get warm a little bit. Frozen fruit and wine. Don't mind if I do. Delicious. So, basically, this is not how I wanted to do this. I wanted to do it Facebook Live, but because I like the whole live comments and all that stuff. But for some reason, in all my devices, I don't know if it's a Wi Fi situation here or what, but it will not let me do it. I can do Google Hangouts, I can do Skype, Citrix. I did an Adobe presentation not too long ago. Everything was fine. Grad school is fine. So I don't know what Facebook's deal is, but I'm bitter. We'll figure it out. They're probably like, wow, this dude already posts a lot of obnoxious statuses, so there's no way we're giving him live feed. No way. Whatever. So what's the purpose of this? Basically, I'm just here to shoot the shit about business and anything of the sorts. It could be marketing, promotion, strategy, finance. Want to start lean? Fine. You're doing a startup and you want to know the steps? Fine. Crossing a chasm, anything like that. I'm an extra set of eyes and a brain to pick at. You can never have enough information. I mean, if you look at the statistics, 4% of businesses make it through 10 years. 4%. That's a very small number. Once you get to 10%, it's not like, oh, I'm in the free and clear. No, like you're surviving to die basically, and it's not easy, and it's pessimistic, and well, you're really dampening things, but it's like no, that's reality, and you have to take as much information as possible and absorb it, and you just adapt to everything and you build constant strategies. Times change. I mean, we had Circuit City and you know places like Borders, hey, we don't want to adapt, and they die. It doesn't matter how big your company is, it doesn't matter how small it is. It's everything is even Steven in that way. So the purpose of these videos is basically to just say, hey, what's up? What's going on? You want to chat about stuff? Fine. If you've been following me for the last few months, I've been going balls to the wall and trying to get things started. And it's, the networking part is going fine, but, just like anybody else starting out, it's not easy. I mean, you have to put in so much time and effort, especially if you really mean it. If you're really after what you want, I mean, you're not just gonna throw together some things and expect it to fall into place. You're gonna invest a lot of time, a lot of money. There's a lot of running around. It's a very serious ordeal. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm gonna build an app or I'm gonna start something, and then they realize the amount of time and effort that goes into it, and that's why it's 4%. And that doesn't include anything else. That doesn't include competition. That doesn't include anything like that. Word of mouth is a big one too. You have to remember, if you're an entrepreneur or even just a regular business, but especially if you're an entrepreneur, I can go down the street and buy your goods and services from somebody else. I mean, it's rare nowadays that there is an original idea. There is so much of everything everywhere. So if you have a business, I'm buying the product from you. You as the person. I can go get my photography done elsewhere. I can go get cake pops for a party elsewhere. So I'm buying something from you. So it's very important that you present yourself and you really open up to customers and be genuine and you listen. I mean, I've bumped into so many people where they're just like, well, I have this business and ha ha ha. And it's like, yeah, well, you're not going to have a business in a couple of years, and one person in particular usually lasts like 10 months. So it's very important that you're like that. You're nice. Word of mouth is huge, and I've gotten into a lot of debates with like professors and stuff and other business owners, especially the people I know from like Boston, New York City, Silicon Valley. Their whole thing, they don't realize that most of the country is not in a big city. Here in Western New York, yeah, we have Buffalo, but it's got tall buildings, but it feels down home. It's not overly crowded or anything like that. I live outside Fredonia. A lot of the businesses that are successful around here have been around for a long time. You take Aunt Millie's, for example. Yeah, they have a Facebook page and some slight social media stuff, but everybody knows Aunt Millie's. They have that reputation. They have that word of mouth reputation. That's been very important. Now with the internet, that's kind of expanded. It's kind of taken Metcalfe's law. Basically, it's if you look at like squared numbers, like 10 squared is 100. Each time that exponent goes up, the network expands. So 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, and that's the way that they think nowadays that the social media network is expanding. And it's true. It used to be growing up, my mom used to always be like, oh, if you say one good thing or bad thing, one person will tell another person, and it always leads to 11 people. That was the old rule of thumb back in the day. So, for some companies, social media is not important. I mean, it's good, to manage reputation, but Aunt Millie's isn't really, if somebody goes on there and writes a bad review, aside from like, oh, I found a rat in my eggs, they'll be fine. But then you take other businesses like wineries and stuff like Mary State Winery, great strong business for decades, and they depend on tourists, and they depend on going to outside events, and they depend on a lot of phone orders. Their salespeople doing a great job in promoting the company, and in that case, social media and internet marketing is brilliant because they have to reach as many people as possible. I mean, they just bought a slush bus. It's fantastic, but you need to know where the slush bus is. So I mean, this is things like that. That's where it's beneficial. So really, I mean, a couple of my colleagues are always, well, if it's not on Yelp, I'm not going, and it's like, well, Yelp is stupid, and who cares? Find some other way to get word of mouth other than Yelp, which Yelp is. Don't get me started on Yelp. So basically, that's what I'm doing. I want to shoot the shit about business. If you got something going on, talk to me. Pick my head. You can never have too many people to help. If you do talk to me privately, totally confidential. I'm not going to steal your secrets. I have my own things going on. I'm not too worried about that. So again, this is not the way I wanted to do it, but have a great evening and get yourself something nice and refreshing. Take care. Bye.